she had three solid job interviews immediately because of the post. She didn't apply. She didn't have to go out and hunt things down because she had built up a platform and a presentation of herself as a leader, which doesn't mean a leader is not just being in charge and in command. A leader is just, we want to hire somebody that we know has a bit of a self-starter energy. They get things done. They get results for their company and their clients. And I'm so freaking excited for her. I think that post is at about 10,000 views right now.
That's incredible. What's happening, everybody? It's Eric J. Olson from Array Digital. And today I'm pretty pumped. We've got Judi Fox on the show. Hello, Judi.
Hi, I got my fox.
You do. There's one in the background too, I noticed.
I've got tons in the background.
Yeah, and you have like a really cool layout. Like, and you even dressed up a little bit. I feel underdressed.
It's all good. It's work on top, yoga pants on the bottom. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing my shorts, so and no shoes. But you know what? That's what happens when we're in COVID. So the reason that we're doing the Facebook Lives at all is because we used to have Marketers Anonymous, and Judi was one of our speakers when we did it in Newport News, and she gave a really great presentation on social media and LinkedIn and how to really leverage those systems for your advantage. But since we can't have an in-person meetup, we're now doing these Facebook Lives every Friday at noon. So if you're watching somewhere besides on Facebook, you can go to thisisarray.live, and that will redirect you to our Facebook Live. But before we get into the questions and answers and the kind of tactical stuff, tell us a little bit. First of all, tell us who you are, what you do, and kind of tell us your story, how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, so my name is Judi Fox. Judi is the key, because if you're going to look me up, you got to find the Judi Fox. And I have a background in chemical engineering, and then I got my master's in environmental management and business sustainability. So with all of that put together, and then I started my career in the 90s, hit the 2008 crisis, and ended up joining LinkedIn in February 2009 because I realized that the way I was going to get my next job, my next opportunity to network for the future rest of my career, it was going to be because of LinkedIn. I could just see the power of it. I saw how difficult it would be to apply to a job board online, even back in 2008. When there are so many people applying for jobs, how are you going to stand out? And the way to do it is networking. So I invested, I think, your time and energy and learning the platform and fast forwarding yourself on the platform by getting books or learning or webinars or whatever you're doing. You're here to fast forward yourself. And all of that has been the most incredible return on investment of my time. So that's why I call LinkedIn is business and career insurance investment. And let's hit the ground running. So, cool. And then, yeah, just to give some like cool stats, the moment I started making content and videos, I hit 3 million views the first year I did that. And since then I've hit anywhere, even in the last 2 weeks, my online social media presence hit 1 million views in less than 2 weeks. So wow. I will say it's definitely fast forwarding.
So speaking of those counts, do you actually go into every single post and count and like add it up yourself, or do you have some sort of a tool that you can use?
I just have different tools. Again, I'm counting all social media presence. So I'm averaging anywhere from 10 to 30K views per month on Pinterest. I'm getting views on Facebook, some views on YouTube. It's just across all the different platforms. And of course, LinkedIn. And I'm about to hit 30K followers on LinkedIn. So that's very exciting.
Speaking of which, right before this, Judi was at 29,998 followers.
So close.
And then Dawn, who is running the live stream for us, he clicked either connect or follow. So she's like one away. She's probably got it at this point.
Oh, let's see. Oh, so exciting. It's very meta. Isn't this meta? Oh, it's 29999. 29,999.
All right. So someone who's watching, please follow Judi or connect with her. But we got to get her to 30,000, which is a magical number.
So close.
Why is 30,000? What is it with 30,000?
So the moment that the max number of connections you can have, There's followers and there's connections. Connections means you're a first degree connection. Now, to reach the 30,000 max for LinkedIn connections, which my followers and connections are very close with each other. They're tracking together basically, is to max that number out. In the news feed, I will now have a automatically given follow button that will show up as you're scrolling the news feed and you come across my content. You won't even have to click over to my profile. It will have a follow button right there.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Okay. So I had never actually noticed that, but well, I guess until you pointed it out that, yeah, sometimes I see that follow button and sometimes I don't. And that's because the person or the company's already maxed out. Is there a company like number, a magic number like 30,000?
So this goes into the space of running ads. So a company can have and buy and pay to make sure that they have that follow button in the newsfeed. So if you notice it, I don't know if I know that number specifically. I probably need to do a little research to figure that number out, mainly because most of the time the companies I see that have that follow button in the newsfeed, it's an ad and it comes from paying for it.
Okay, I gotcha. Cool. Wow,
Yeah.
we are super close.
I don't know for sure because I don't know all the financial impacts. I don't do ads on LinkedIn. I always recommend my friend AJ Wilcox. If you want to know any more about ads, I should probably reach out to him and say, hey, what's the deal? Yeah. How much are they paying for that plus follow? But mine is free, all organic, the entire journey. So.
Oh, well, guess what? Chris Ruddick just followed you. And he is number 30,000.
All right, Chris, we
wow,
gotta connect. We gotta talk.
Good job, man. That's awesome.
I feel like when you go in the grocery store and you're like, you're our 100,000th visitor.
Fox Rocks. Where did this rocks come from? There's got to be a story there.
There is a story. It's almost how do I say this? It's twofold. So what happened is I joined LinkedIn, realized that you could create a personal hashtag. I saw other people doing it and I saw the power of it very early on. It's not about having followers to that hashtag early on. It's more of a place to curate your content. Like you have a folder that you now, and I'm an organized person with all of my file folders behind me. So I'm like, yeah, I would like a folder for my content that when you open it up on LinkedIn and you scroll down, it's all of my content there. It's an easier way to send people to check out your latest post, to see your content. And now you can grow your following on your personal hashtag. But the Fox Rocks hashtag came from, number one, it came from me just networking on the platform and just saying like, you rock, or like, this is just my vibe and my energy, which is like kind of fun, kind of high energy, spirited, you rock type of energy. And then they crowdsourced that hashtag. I asked people and said, what do you think my hashtag is? And they were like, Fox Rocks. And I was like, okay, that was easy. But then the other concept, and this is actually a pretty recent video that I put on the platform, is my mindset hack. And I'd always had what I call my next right rock theory. And this is beyond LinkedIn. It's something I started putting into my own head in 2014 when I went through something really, really tough. And I enjoy mountaineering and hiking and camping. And when I think of doing some of these backpacking trips and hiking trips where I've gone 15 miles in a day or something really, really intense, it really is about putting one foot in front of the other. It's the next right rock, the next right step. And so I was just picturing how life can sometimes feel like you're crossing a raging river of uncertainty, which is what we're all in right now. And it's a mindset hack that I have to just step on the next right rock. So
I gotcha. Yeah. So
merge the fun and the real.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that. I wasn't aware that people could like follow a hashtag on LinkedIn.
I know my hashtag following, I think, is at, oh wow, how many? I think I'm at 300. So it sounds funny, but it's basically the idea is 300 people who are following my personal hashtag will more likely see my content in the top of their newsfeed when they open up LinkedIn.
Okay, so. Gotcha. And then, so does that mean that every time you comment at all or do anything on LinkedIn, you're putting that hashtag in there?
So that's more for branding. The hashtag Fox Rocks doesn't mean that LinkedIn will show my my comment to my whole platform. It's more for me to stay top of mind with that hashtag, to get more following to that hashtag, because the more people that follow that hashtag, like I said, that means that they're my hot audience. So yes, I have 30,000 followers, or I assume I have 30,000 now. But yeah, having about 300, and I have one client that's now above 3,000 followers on his personal hashtag. I try to get my clients success that I would be jealous of. And basically that means that he is more likely to make posts. He hit 1 million views in like the past 90 days, just because imagine 3,000 people seeing your post because they follow your personal hashtag, and you are immediately at the top of your newsfeed.
So you don't need to give me the name of your client. You probably don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But is this someone who was already kind of doing their own thing, where they having some success and they wanted more success?
They went from almost zero kind of profile views, very little success. Not that they weren't successful in their own right, in their own world, but yeah, they grew very quickly from visibility. But no, they weren't necessarily public anywhere else. They were just like anyone on this planet. They were like, hey, I need to get active on LinkedIn. I want to grow my visibility and be online and invest in my business career. And that's what happened. That's what incredible. I do.
That's a lot of views.
Yes, it is.
So let's say that someone like your client is watching right now, and they haven't done really anything. They don't know how to use the platform. They post every once in a while and they get mediocre results, or maybe they haven't even started at all, right? And they're like, okay, I want to try this LinkedIn thing. What would you recommend are the first couple of things that people should really like zero in on?
The first thing I think, and I always go back to mindset, is think about, instead of thinking professional, LinkedIn's professional. And that tends to be the first thing every human being ever says to me. And I say, delete the word professional and replace it with leadership. LinkedIn is leadership. So can you show up as a leader on this platform? And most people say, yeah, I know how to do that. And that unlocks something that allows them to show up, versus this feeling that I have to be a blank slate or a little bit more neutral. It allows them to show some of their personality, maybe not all of it yet, but it unlocks that vibe and that feeling, because we need to feel it when we come to your content, that you're showing up as a real person. And we know what it's like to be buttoned up, but LinkedIn's like getting on the golf course together and spending a little bit of time and networking. And you don't let your hair totally down, but you're real, right? You're playing golf together. It's LinkedIn golf course. But I will say that the next thing I tell people is also, LinkedIn is different than other social media platforms. The LinkedIn comments are so much more visible than Facebook, than Instagram, than Twitter. So if you go out and comment as Eric, and the whole platform sees you make 10 comments today on LinkedIn, those show up in the newsfeed as content, especially if you become the most relevant comment to that post. So say, for example, you make a high level, high quality leadership level comment, and you get engagement at all on that comment, you'll be at the top of that list of relevant comments. And then it just takes off from there. You get more visible. All of a sudden people will say, "What? I see Eric everywhere." I mean, I know it's working when, after I have a 5-day fast track now because of the economy and everything that we're going through, this 5-day fast track, I created it because I said people really need to pop on LinkedIn, and I have all of a sudden yard work happening, just FYI, if you can hear anything. But I have a 5-day fast track now where I just say, okay, we're going to pop on LinkedIn. And most people who take advantage of the 5-day fast track, high quality leadership level comments, about 15 to 20 total over the course of 5 days. And that has gotten anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000% increase in profile views.
Very nice. Very nice.
That was a long answer, but go out and comment. High quality level leadership comments.
Yeah. So how do you go about working with the client? Like, if I wanted to hire you, where would I go? What would I do?
So right now, the best way is we get on a phone call. I want to know that we can work together, that I'm the right fit for you, that you'll really see results. I have a course, but I do it a done with you course that I've learned throughout, because a lot of this in LinkedIn has to do with mindset. And then the other thing with LinkedIn is so many people want to make sure that they don't take a misstep and hurt their careers. And so having it done with you, either in a group setting or one-on-one, is pretty much how I work with people. So I have groups that start once a month. It's anywhere from 5 to 10 people all in a group. The next one is starting May 18th. So
Right around the corner.
that's how I roll.
Very cool. And so they'd go to judyfox.com.
Yep. And they pounce on a call with me. Hence the Fox
Like
pounce.
a
Yeah.
fox would pounce.
Yes.
All right,
I ask
cool.
a couple questions. I want to know what your LinkedIn profile is, not because I'm trying to say, oh, where you're at, but I need to know who you are. You're a real person. And even if you don't have it all filled in, I at least can see your profile, see where you work, see where you're at. And I take people through what I call immutable principles that stand the test of time. So it's not just, here's how to use LinkedIn for today. Here's how to use LinkedIn that I've used it now since 2009 to keep my career strong for all of these years. And now my career and the people I've worked with, I have to brag on one of my clients because, and it's really, really a tough economic climate right now. But one of the things, and I'm so honored to work with her, and we positioned her most recent post to talk about how she got laid off, which is a really tough thing right now to talk about. How do you position that? How do you set yourself up for success? And she had three solid job interviews immediately because of the post. She didn't apply. She didn't have to go out and hunt things down, because she had built up a platform and a presentation of herself as a leader, which doesn't mean a leader is not just being in charge and in command. A leader is just, we want to hire somebody that we know has a bit of a self-starter energy. They get things done. They get results for their company and their clients. And I'm so freaking excited for her. I think that post is at about 10,000 views right now.
That's incredible. That's really great. I mean, if it's actually resulting in job interviews, that's the best case scenario. So well done, Judi.
Yeah, a lot of my clients have said they've had more sales calls booked in the past 3 weeks than they've ever had in their entire business career. And they're saying, because I am leaning into these principles that just stand the test of time. It's not about gaming anything or about the fast action in the sense of, it is nice to have fast action, but I just mean, like, how do I say this? It's almost like we're coaching from a place of, how do you out-carry your competition?
Do you accept everybody? If someone sends you a connection request, do you evaluate it? Yes or no, or just accept?
I believe in gut instinct meets experience. And with that, you can very quickly just see somebody's title, what they've put as their profile picture. Do they look like a legit human being? And I will accept. If I saw something the other day that highlighted a potential fake profile on the platform, because they do exist. And so there's certain markers that you can kind of tell could be a fake profile. But I assume it's kind of the 80-20 rule. If 80% of how you position yourself looks credible, I accept.
Cool. Okay. Linked Helper is a tool that will automatically send messages and maybe even mine some data out of LinkedIn. Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea? Is it against the terms of service at all?
So I have read the terms of service, and there's always people who are doing something quite on the edge of any terms of service on any platform. I just have to say, I how do I say this? I definitely come from a place of ask forgiveness versus permission all the time. But what I will say is there are some that get closer and closer to getting a either nasty letter from LinkedIn. And I have seen those letters. And then I've also seen the individuals who've received them and didn't get much warning. They maybe had one light warning, and then they had their account locked down. And that's actually one of my clients that I just mentioned. That's why I don't want to put him too much in the hot seat, but he had his account taken away and locked down to say, hey, we sometimes don't realize what we're doing. So when you add the helper, there might be certain parts of that program that wouldn't necessarily be totally against the rules, but the problem is if you use all the pieces of LinkedIn Helper, there could be something that really just, let's just be blunt, grinds LinkedIn's gears and they will shut you down. So
when they shut you down, is that like for good?
so this one shut down the ability to send any connection requests. So if you are spamming too many people with connection requests in a way that, I understand linked helper and all these different add-on tools will like do auto messages, but if too many people mark you as sending auto messages, LinkedIn is cracking down on that. And they're cracking down on not wanting the platform to degrade any further into spam territory. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Good to
and
know.
now LinkedIn has a way to report spam that is slightly different than how they used to do it, which I think is going to increase the resistance to people spamming and having those linked helper. They're definitely trying to cut down on that. So I don't think it's a good idea. If you want long-term business insurance, I just wouldn't do it. I've never worked with it and I don't recommend any of my clients, and most of my clients don't have it on their accounts. What I come up with is templates that work as repeatable templates. And I have great ones to show you how you can share your most recent post or content, or how you can do certain things that don't hurt your reputation or hurt your platform, if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. All right, so a whole bunch of questions rolling in. Joyce Diaz, can you recommend a good video making app or program for a beginner user?
So some of the video making platforms, let me think. A lot of people think I need to have this kind of high quality professional leadership level video. What I tell people is, number one, you can use your cell phone. That's how all 3 million views in my first year are pretty much from my cell phone, just pointing my camera at my face, recording directly into my cell phone and uploading. Not everyone feels comfortable doing that. I tell people to use something called InShot. I love that one. That one allows you to make some edits in your phone, maybe add a filter, maybe add some, I don't know, like some edits if you want to mark out, okay, I don't want to refilm this. I just want to cut out the part that I said XYZ. I didn't really like that. But I just think too many people are coming in and thinking, oh, I have to have this high quality edited video. What we're really there for is a quick video getting access to your brain. If you've ever had anyone say to you, anyone ever in your whole life say, can we grab a cup of coffee and talk and connect? Can I pick your brain? Can I get access to you for about XYZ? Then that's something to put on LinkedIn, what that person wanted, what they wanted to ask. And that's a great place to start. And then I also tell people another great place to start on LinkedIn with video is creating a tip series. So if you have 5 to 10 tips, 3 tips, something you can break down. And so that way your video can just be, here's tip number 1 about how to write. I think she does resumes, like how to open up the top of your resume. Here's tip number 2 for how to do bullet points in the center of your resume under job experience. And then here's tip number 3 for your honors, achievements, awards, and highlights. And just give these top tips.
Okay. Awesome. Very cool. Let's see here. We have Holly Wolf says, thanks, Judi. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
I love
that it's Wolf. Wolf meets Fox.
Chris Ruddick, who was your 30,000th connection, he says or asks, what do you do with the immediate sales pitch after connection, folks? All right. So I know what he's talking about. You get a connection request. You're like, I think this guy's going to spam me. And you're like, well, let me give it a shot. You connect. And then within 24 hours, you get this wall of text through DM.
So here's what I think about my direct messages across all of social media. I will not give up my power. They don't own my inbox. I own my inbox. So instead of thinking to myself and letting their energy affect me, I get to turn around with like either my this is my engineering brain. So it's like having a standard operating procedure where somebody comes in the top of your funnel. So they're in the top of my funnel. I'm not in the top of their funnel. So they're in the top of mine now. So now I can decide what I want to do. If I would say there's several things that I do, but I'll give you one of my top things that I do. So they come into the top of my funnel. Whatever their message is happens to be a spammy type of message. Totally fine. No judgment, because some people don't know what they're supposed to do instead of that message, or they've been taught to send that message, or their corporate office wants them to send that message. So no judgment. They come in the top, and I'm glad to stay connected and I don't disconnect. And the reason why is because I give people a chance, and I give them a chance to turn into either an awesome connection, or if they continue to send me spam, I then mark them as spam. So the two things I'll do, they come in the top. I say, thanks for connecting. The way that I get to hold my boundaries, the way that I get to know new connections is through the public comments on the platform. Here's my latest post. That way I get to say, if you want to show up, if you actually did want to connect and did want to create a relationship and start, let's kick the conversation out of the direct messages. Let's kick the conversation away from spam, and let's get real with each other in the public comments on the platform. If they show up in the public comments on the platform, well, then now I have a great new connection that could potentially turn into something, and I didn't just walk away. It's in their control, and I get to clean up my inbox because I've made it clear that I won't communicate until we get to know each other in the public comments on the platform, and I get to put my boundaries up. So it makes it really easy for me to process messages that way. And that way I don't lose the connection. Maybe they were going to be awesome, cool conversation, but they just didn't know any better to start with a spam message. So
Got it.
that's my opinion.
We are at 12:30. Do you have a few more minutes to hang out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Joyce followed up and said, very well said, spot on. And then Chris has a follow-up question. Are plain text or image posts useless on the platform? Is video the only way to get traction?
I do plain text. I do image. I just did a picture post last night, and I would say all the different types of content are valid on LinkedIn. And the reason why is because it keeps your content fresh. It makes us look at all the different ways your voice can show up. And we don't always learn. Every single human being on this platform does not always want to watch a video. So I think video is powerful for us to get, just like you guys are watching me right now. You're like, oh, I get to see her, talk with her, connect with her. But to stay top of mind doesn't always mean video. It could mean video every other week, once a month. So I think about sustainable practices. Again, that's my master's degree, so why wouldn't I?
There you go.
And if getting on video is stressful, and I've been there, I don't always want to get on video because I understand video can feel stressful. So do it once a month, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like mix it up for sure. All right, I have actually a couple questions. Live. So LinkedIn Live has been around for, I don't know, 6 months, but it's only open to
maybe a year, I think.
And it's restricted, so not everybody gets it. Do you know if they have plans to open that up to more people or to everybody soon?
I still get the sense, again, I don't have the full-on direct line to somebody telling me this from LinkedIn, so it's more just watching patterns, seeing how and what they're doing. I get the sense that they still want to be a bit of a gatekeeper and not let live be completely open. They want to have the application process to make sure that it makes sense, instead of having everyone and their brother just hit the live and go live, and they don't have any kind of reference as to what and why you should be given live.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then what's new in LinkedIn? Like I keep hearing about stories, maybe.
Yeah, so they are rolling out stories. Their LinkedIn product manager made a public article/post on LinkedIn. I jumped all over it and was like, yes. People have very strong opinions about LinkedIn stories. They're concerned about they're not going to be professional. And then I I'm like, delete the word professional. Everyone is a leader, and leadership shows up in a different vibe and a different energy. And then the other thing I tell people about LinkedIn stories is, if you don't like the stories, you can probably remove or, mark them as something you don't want to see. It's your user experience. So I am excited for stories. I think it's going to be a powerful way for people to show up and make those quick videos. And it is rolling out. I've seen some people have beta, but I haven't seen it added to the user experience yet. That will be very interesting to try and see where it shows up in our user experience.
Very cool.
And then LinkedIn polls that
yeah,
because you can make a poll question on Facebook, for example, and you can say, hey, what's some of your top books? And then you give 5 examples of some books to read. And LinkedIn is rolling out polls. I went to go see if it was rolled out to my profile. I think that's going to be a faster rollout because it's just a different way of creating content. And I've seen it now start to hit people's platforms. Yesterday I checked, I still don't have it, but it's coming. So
very cool. One other thing that I want to ask you about, and then we can wrap up, is articles. So I was told a long time ago, articles are great. You need to have a whole bunch. And I took a lot of content that I had on other places. I put them up in LinkedIn as articles. I've got like 90 some. But I've also noticed that it gets like almost no engagement, at least when the article is published as a post. And I didn't see any on your profile. Now, is that like hidden, or do you have articles?
So did you look at, okay, so this is a new thing that LinkedIn, when they updated what's called the featured section. So they used to call it the media files. So LinkedIn articles were a different section, and then they had the media files. LinkedIn has merged those now. So the problem is they're not highlighting articles on your profile the way they used to.
Okay.
So if you look at my profile on my cell phone, you can see the same article spot that it used to be in. But on my profile on my computer now, on your articles on your computer, when we look at our profiles now, they're moved. They're not in the same spot anymore. So LinkedIn just made that user update in the last month. So,
gotcha. Okay.
And it has hurt the reach of articles, because if you think about it, if you can't find my articles anymore, and I have one article, you have 90, I have one. But that also shows you I didn't necessarily want to write more articles, because this one article has probably brought in potentially almost 6 figures of business, because it is a very well-performing article.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. Very
cool.
So
I don't want to like confuse my audience. It's almost like powerful just have one that's super optimized.
Yeah. Awesome. What is the best way that they can find you online?
Go connect with me on LinkedIn. And the way that you can easily find all my social media is judifox.com. And I have like a social media line on my website, and you can just click down all the socials. So Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, what are the other, YouTube? Did I say YouTube already? TikTok.
Oh, wow. TikTok.
Yeah. Oh my, don't even get me started. That's so much fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Final question. Besides LinkedIn, which I'm sure is your number one favorite, certainly like that's what you do the most of or put a lot of attention in. What's next? What's number 2?
I love Instagram. That's another answer to the question about video. I actually film a lot of my videos within Instagram stories, merge them together, and upload them to LinkedIn, because it is a very casual, conversational place where I can get on video very quickly and easily and do an Instagram story. And if I like the story, then I can say, you know what, I'll merge it and put it out everywhere else.
Awesome. Very cool.
Make it happen.
Thank you so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. All right. Bye, everybody.